Remote work and virtual events are becoming the new normal. Job searching can also look different these days, which means that we need to know how to adapt to the new process and the new reality. So let's talk about virtual career events in particular and how you can make the most out of them when exploring for your next career move. Career events may sound overwhelming, but they're so incredibly helpful when it comes to making connections with employers and learning more about organizations that are attending. My first job in tech resulted from a career fair. Before we get into the benefits of career events and my tips on how to make the most out of virtual career events, I wanted to thank Dice, eFinancial Careers, and Clearance Jobs for sponsoring this video. These online career hubs help connect technologists with employers who are looking to hire in tech, financial services, and government security clearance jobs. They're currently hosting a ton of virtual career events, helping you find your next career move. And on Thursday, September 24th, they're hosting a nationwide Women in Tech virtual career event with 30 companies attending. I will leave a link to that event and all of their other upcoming events throughout 2020 and ongoing events in the description so that you can put to practice the tips that I mentioned in this video and find awesome job opportunities. There are countless benefits to attending career events. Not only do you get to learn more about the organizations and the career opportunities there, you also get to network and connect with teams that you might be interested in working with. And finally, you can get your foot through the door by making a good impression on a recruiter. I've also participated in a bunch of women-specific events in tech, and they have been so much fun with such amazing energy. They shared a ton of value, helping female candidates find the best fit for them in terms of the next career move, company culture, etc. And networking at those events has been so much fun because all of the women that attend these types of events have a growth mindset and also really want to help each other. Virtual career events have replaced in-person events for the time being, and the concept may seem confusing at first. How can you get the same benefit from these types of events, and how can you make the most out of them? Let's talk about that right now. Let's start with what can you do before the event. First, block off time on your calendar for the event to make sure that you don't have any overlaps and can be fully present at the event. Find a quiet space with a neutral background so that you don't get disturbed during the event and so that you'll look professional. And you might have to get creative with it. For example, if you will be taking your call from your bedroom, you can experiment with where your camera is facing so that your bed, for example, is not in the background. Or you might have to rearrange things so that they look professional and tidy. Pick out your outfit ahead of time. You don't have to wear a suit, but you should look professional. Smart casual is always the way to go. Understand what roles and skills you're interested in. If you don't know that ahead of time, do some reflection and research. Prepare a pitch. Being able to tell a compelling story about yourself is always helpful. Practice a short speech introducing yourself, communicating your story, and your why. Update your resume. Be prepared in case of an employer looks you up during or after the event. Some career events also ask you to upload your resume when registering for the event. So make sure that you upload the most recent version of your resume if that's the case, because certain employers might look at it before the event. Do research on the companies attending to have a better understanding of what career opportunities this career event might bring, and also to have better conversations with their employees and recruiters. It will also allow you to prepare better questions ahead of time. Write those down and bring your notes to the event. Familiarize yourself with the event schedule so that you know what to expect and also when you will have the opportunity to talk to employers or network. Set goals for the career event, because if you don't know what you're aiming for, it's much harder to measure success. Your goals may look like talk to employer X and Y, or meet 5 new people and set up virtual coffees to connect further. Set those goals and write them down. Block time off for follow-ups. Ideally, you want to follow up 24 to 48 hours after the event. So block time off proactively to make sure that you have that time to do it. Test the technology from your internet speed to creating an account with the platform that the event is going to be hosted through. And finally, prepare your notebook and anything else you might need. I highly recommend taking notes throughout these types of events, so make sure that you prepare your notebook and your pen in advance and anything else that you might need, for example, a bottle of water. Prepare those things in advance so you don't have to scramble and go for them in the last moment, and place them on the correct side. So for example, if you're right-handed, place them on the right, and if you're left-handed, place them on the left. This way you can be much more discreet about note-taking or anything else that you might have to do during the event. Now that you're super prepared for the event, let's talk about what I recommend doing during the event. First, be on time, because you have blocked that time off on your calendar, and it's such a simple way to get the most value out of the event because you know what's going on, you were there on time. And finally, it communicates your interest and commitment. Turn your notifications on Do Not Disturb to eliminate distractions and random sounds. You don't want your phone to start ringing when you're talking to a recruiter at your dream company, especially if your ringtone is something very silly. Stay engaged and use active listening skills. It is easier to drift away or even start multitasking when you're attending an online event. However, stay strong and resist the temptation in order to get the most value out of the event and to be able to connect with all of the attendees in a much more meaningful way. Ask companies questions and take notes. These may be the questions that you have prepared ahead of time or any questions that pop into your head during the event. And also make sure that you take notes on their answers and also on the conversations that you have in general, because it will make following up so much easier. Connect on a personal level. Yes, this may be a professional event, however, we're all human and we all crave connection. Talk about their day or life and ask them questions. Everyone is experiencing these weird times and is coping with the new normal in their own way. And finally, find out the next steps and contact information. Depending on the conversations that you've had, figure out what are the next steps. Do you need to fill out a job application? Will you schedule a virtual coffee with this person to connect further? And of course, don't forget to write down this person's contact details. Once the event is over, I still have a few tips on how you can make the most of it. Tip number 1 is, of course, follow up. You can follow up with a thank you message or next steps like scheduling a time to connect. Include a brief reintroduction, what you've discussed, and a connection point if you've had one. For example, you may have picked up the same hobby during quarantine, or maybe this person told you about their pet. Ask them how they're doing. This will help them remember the conversation and the connection that you've had. And this is exactly why we took notes, to remember these things. Nurture the relationships that you've built, because connecting is one thing, but staying on top of what's happening in your network and maintaining those relationships brings the most value, and you never know what they can lead to. And finally, watch out for more events, for more connections, more opportunities, and so on. So now, if you're itching to sign up for a virtual career event, check out the virtual career event calendar page. It has so many awesome events in there, and new ones are being added regularly. I will leave a link to it in the description. And of course, if you're interested, you should register for the nationwide Women in Tech virtual career event on Thursday, September 24th. There will be 30 companies attending, and it will be a great way to explore current openings and opportunities in tech. The link to the event is in the description. Thank you, Dice, eFinancial Careers, and Clearance Jobs for hosting such awesome virtual career events. Let me know in the comments if these tips were helpful and if you'd like to add anything else. Like this video if you've enjoyed it, share with a friend who's currently looking for jobs, and of course, we can also be friends on other social media. You can find me as Coding Blonde. Have a wonderful time of the day you're currently experiencing. Bye.